God give me style, God give me grace.
God give me style, God give me grace.
God put a smile on my face.
God put the smile on my face.
God make me shine like the sun.
And just like that, Sonny is here. The conservative diva with the hip-hop edge and definitely a hustler's ego. Welcome to Full Negro Dialect, home of intelligent and culturally relevant conservative conversation. I hope you got a chance to check out my moment of clarity so we can jump right in to low expectations and what I bring to the table. Now, I'm a Southern girl. I know you can't visit someone's house with empty hands, nor can you visit someone's heart with unclear intentions. So I'm an all cards on the table kind of girl. Don't get it twisted though. I know when a card up my sleeve is required. But I am compelled to humble myself with a personal testimony before we continue. I've always been smart. Didn't get my first C until 6th grade. At that age, I had high expectations. When I graduated high school at 16 with honors, things were a bit different. I had no real expectations. I didn't care about anything except partying and having fun. I was diagnosed with Crohn's the following year. My life slammed on brakes right before going off a cliff. After a year and a half of suffering, I received major stomach surgery. I looked around my life and didn't like what I saw. I had removed the sickness from my body, but it forced me to focus on the sickness in my spirit. So I moved away from home, family, friends, and old routines, everything I loved. God had a different plan for me. He wanted me to be a catcher of men. To be a catcher of men, you must use an assortment of bait. But the hook must always be honesty, the line must always be humility, the pole must always be faith, and the hands that control it all must always belong to God.
Yeah, Rockefeller, we invite you to something epic, you know? Where we hustle out of a sense of hopelessness, sort of a desperation. Through that desperation, we come addicted, sort of like the fiends we accustomed to serving. Where we feel we have nothing to lose, so we offer you, well, we offer our lives. What do you bring to the table?
I offer you the humility of understanding. I know why most black youth live with hopelessness. I know the feeling of one or both parents not being there. I know the feeling of getting more love from the streets than you get in your own home. I know the feeling of not wanting to think about tomorrow, so you bury yourself in drugs and alcohol today. I don't judge what was or what currently is. But what I absolutely refuse to do is to come at you with low expectations for what will be. I also offer this humility to white conservatives that may not understand the method to my madness. God created us to be different, and those differences demand its own distinct leadership. I'm guessing that's why our founders gave us a republic and a constitution that guarantees states' rights. I don't blame you for not knowing or not liking hip-hop culture. I can't listen to Rush, Hannity, Levin, or Ingram because they are culturally distant from me, even though we are in tune on a lot of things politically. So I get it, but the same rules apply. I refuse to come at you with the low expectation for what will be when hip-hop is mixed with conservatism. I also have to put honesty on the table. My black people have to get a better argument than, why are you with those white people? And my white people need to stop asking, why doesn't the black community see what liberal policies are doing to them? Both of these assumptions come with the preface of low expectation. It's the expectation that we are facing separate problems. We're not. It's just the problems we face are brought about with different symptoms that can be cured with the same remedy. The simple expectation that all men are created equal, that in God's eyes we are all the same. It's the fruits we bear, not our color, culture, or political leanings that separate us. Now, mama ain't raised no fool, so I'm straight up when I sit at the table and make promises. Trust is the key to everything. Is it not the same with God's word? I pray long and hard before I make these videos, so I really have to question those that believe in God but dismiss hip-hop. It is a worldwide cultural phenomenon. not forced from the top down, but from the grassroots, filled with truth, devoid of political correctness. Are you telling me God didn't have a hand in that? I'm not saying the devil didn't pick up a microphone also. I know he's alive and well. But do you think it impossible that God would pick messengers from the ghettos and hoods of America? Jesus grew up in Nazarene. It wasn't a holy place. He lived amongst the drunks, the prostitutes, and criminals. He learned the nature of sin. God knew it was mandatory his son be prepared. And Jesus answering said unto them, they that are whole need not a physician, but they that are sick. How do you cure an illness if you have no real knowledge of it? Do you have the low expectation that God has forgotten the black community? But that also makes me have to question those that damn the Constitution or our founding fathers. If you think that this country is so bad, go to Syria or Libya to see what happens in other countries when you speak up against your government. Okay, that was a bit trite and condescending, so let's stay here in America. What does Sharpton say about hip-hop? How does Oprah feel? Ask the members of the Congressional Black Caucus what they think of the hip-hop culture. And they are all on the Democratic side. Do you really believe they won't come after hip-hop again when they need another scapegoat for the failure of their policies? Or do you have the low expectations that you couldn't stop them even if you wanted to? History has taught us that when the American people know the truth, they tend to do the right thing. Our generation is no exception. So, what is the right thing? That's not for me to decide. It's up to every single person to make their own decisions based on individual principles and individual personal philosophies. I will never tell you what to think or how to think, what to feel or when to feel it. That's not my job, because in the end, I have neither heaven nor hell to put you in. I was asked if I was trying to change hip-hop. Yet again, not my job. That decision lies with my generation and the generation that follows. But I do want to leave my mark. My job is to record the world as I see it around me, good, bad, and in between, using my individual principles and individual personal philosophy. That's what I bring to the table. I'm just blessed I get to share it with all of you. Until next time.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be?